stepped over the gnarled roots, his eyes fixed on the towering canopy of the forest. He did not slow down. He navigated the shifting shadows until he reached the base of the largest strawberry in the grove. There, half buried in the damp soil, sat a book bound in glowing gold. He reached down. His fingers brushed the cool, metallic surface of the cover. As he pulled the book free, the ground did not just tremble. It bucked. Soil erupted in a spray of loose dirt and pebbles. A massive object groaned as it forced its way upward from the subterranean depths. A silver ice cream machine tore through the surface, shattering the roots above. It stood 10 feet tall, vibrating with a deep, rhythmic hum. Blue sparks showered the clearing, snapping through the air like tiny whips. The machine hissed, venting a cloud of frigid vapor that smelled of sugar and ozone. Bao stood back as the device stabilized, its gears clicking into place with mechanical precision. It was humming, waiting and glowing with an impossible light. Bao flipped the book to page 1. He dumped in a vial of mountain nectar and a handful of stardust. The machine shuddered, then let out a low musical chime. A thick, perfectly swirled mountain of vanilla ice cream poured from the nozzle. The villagers gathered, eyes wide, and cheered as they tasted the sweet cold clouds. It was a perfect feast, but the machine did not stop. It began to groan, a deeper, metallic sound that vibrated through the ground. The internal gears ground together, spinning faster, then faster still. The steady stream of vanilla turned into a violent torrent of dark liquid chocolate. It surged forward, flashing over the stone edge of the square. The villagers backed away as the river widened, knocking over heavy wooden benches and sweeping away market stalls. The air grew thick with the smell of cocoa. Bao reached for the controls, but the machine was vibrating too hard to touch. The chocolate river rose to his ankles, then his knees, churning with unpredictable force. The laughter died down, replaced by shouts of alarm as the square began to flood. The chocolate did not stop its relentless expansion. It surged against the walls of the village square, rising higher with every passing second. Bao waded through the sticky, dark current, his movements heavy and labored. He lunged for the main lever, but a thick, viscous glob of strawberry cream splattered across the console, sealing the mechanism shut. He grabbed a metal rod and tried to pry the gears loose. They did not budge. A sudden hiss escaped the machine, and a cascade of molten caramel sprayed into the machinery, instantly hardening into a jagged, amber-coloured seal. The gears were locked solid. Around the perimeter of the village, the disaster took on a new form. Walls of thick, pink strawberry cream rose rapidly, climbing up the sides of the rooftops and sealing off every exit. The village was becoming a bowl of sugar. Bao looked up as the level of the cream reached the second-story windows. Houses groaned under the weight of the encroaching sweetness. He pushed against the hardened base of the machine, but it remained firmly rooted in the earth, vibrating with a frantic, muffled hum that felt like a heartbeat. There was no way out, and the walls were still rising. Bao snatched up a discarded megaphone and roared into the sticky air. Help was needed, and it arrived in a blur of fur and scale. Rabbits darted into the square, carrying hollowed-out tree trunks shaped like giant waffle cones. They plunged them into the rising tide, catching the overflow before it could crush the lower porches. Monkeys swarmed down from the canopy, wielding massive wooden spoons to carve narrow paths through the thickening street. The heat of the sugar was intense, but the elephants moved in, trunks raised high to spray blasts of chilled air that hardened the melting walls, turning the flood into manageable sculptures. High above, the dragons banked through the clouds. They dipped low, unleashing bursts of icy breath that froze the runaway rivers into stable crystalline structures. The panic vanished. The village square became a grand, chaotic festival. Unicorns lined up to catch rainbow swirls in their horns. Penguins waddled over to claim mint chips, and birds chirped from the rooftops, diving into the blueberry scoops. Every creature ate with reckless speed. The mountains of cream began to shrink under the collective hunger of the forest. The impossible siege was being devoured one bite at a time. The final mounds of cream vanished as the last of the forest creatures retreated, their bellies full. By the time the sun touched the horizon, the streets were clear and silent. The machine gave a final, soft chime that resonated through the square. It shuddered, the metal plates folding inward as the humming blue sparks faded to a gentle glow. It shrank steadily until it was nothing more than a small, golden cart resting on the cobblestones. Bao stepped forward and gripped the handle. The machine was now calm, producing only one perfect single scoop at a time. He wheeled it to the center of the square, where the golden light of sunset painted the ground in long, warm shadows. A friend approached, and Bao carefully plaited a rainbow swirl. He watched as the first bite was taken, the village quiet and content. The candy-colored hills in the distance seemed to glow against the darkening sky. He did not miss the mountain of sugar or the frantic surge of the river. Standing there in the cooling air, he understood that the power he had found was not meant for dominance, but for connection. The magic was simple, measured, and complete. It was best when shared, one scoop at a time, as the day faded into a peaceful golden